touched upon this already a little bit, but in terms of the quite a bit of the deals that you see coming your way are liquidity events, on the GP side. So what are some other reasons perhaps that maybe a GP or one or more GPs may want to exit out of a deal? Simon did mention about changing in perspectives, perhaps, especially like with office and retail going through some transformation right now. Perhaps, there could be life events and perhaps perspectives and other things that change, someone's position in these deals because they're so long-term and, multi-year hold periods. But what are some other reasons why a GP may want to exit out?
Yeah, I think there are a couple of different things there, right? So we can kind of class them into two things. One being GP-led deals, which involves LP capital in the deals they have, where they're in the driving seat and they're kind of replacing one investor for the other. So that's one where we're working for a GP to do something about the LP capital. When it comes to the GPs themselves, it's going to be very difficult for an LP to cleanly exit the deal and leave their LPs inside. I mean, it's a bit like abandoning people on an island, right? So it's probably not going to work that well. But a lot of these, a lot of legacy deals that run for a while have quite punchy, have done well. There's some excess equity there. You might be in a position where you can bring in more LP investors. You might be able to take some of your own chips off the table. And, a lot of the times, this is also something that's interesting in how a project comes together. Like there are different stages to development. Like I'm telling you guys stuff already, but like you start off with a piece of land, you build a building, you stabilize the building, and then all those phases are different. And through all those stages of development, there's a different risk profile, right? So let's say you bought a piece of land and you want some investors in to help you build a building. That's a very different risk perspective than say, I want to buy a building that has tenants that's paying an income at the moment. Those are two different classes of investors. The group that likes the construction and development side of it is not going to want to sit and earn income for 10 years. So you might have these kind of handover periods where you say either the GP has footed the bill himself, developed the building, and now stabilize the building. And they can take some chips off the table both through a refinancing, but it can also get some other investors who just want to hold this for a very long time. That's one way of looking at it. And then you can also, you can essentially tap into a different type of investor base and recycle the deal a little bit. So these are interesting things you can start to look at and do, right? And kind of, play more to the investor preferences rather than believe that you're going to sit with one set of an investor base through the entire life of the deal, or that you have to sell the building after development, after stabilization. You could just tweak the investor base and that way hold on to the deal. So there are many different things.